Hello guys, Megan Ryan, JC Ryan, James Coppin. Today I've got a video for you pertaining to crystals. Mainly, how to use crystals. If you're out there and you're getting into energy healing, or you just want to buy a bunch of crystals. Here's the thing, I brought crystals when I was a kid. I grew up with them. I was fascinated with how shiny they were and the myriad of colors that these stones held. But for the longest time, I didn't actually know how to use them. Okay. Now I'm not saying this as of late I'm using them. When I was around about 16, that's when it clicked. And it mainly started to click for me because I was getting into energy manipulation within my body. Okay. Now I'm going to break down to you how to feel the frequency of crystals. Pretty much the science as to what's going on. You know, the cause and effect. Now you can better utilize crystals within your day in and day out life so that you can increase concentration, meditation. Some people say that, I think it's called agate or agate crystal can be used. It's actually a soft stone to facilitate in astral projection experiences. Now I've never actually used that crystal for such a purpose, but I did use one that I've got right here to my left, which I'm going to show you in a sec. And I'm just going to break it down to you, okay? So if you've got any crystals out there, and you think to yourself, you know what, I already know how to use crystals, I'm not going to watch this video. Please watch this video, because I went pretty much 16 years thinking I knew how to use crystals, and I didn't until I randomly just played with them properly for once. And who knows, maybe if you already do know how to use crystals, I might teach you something which would heighten your ability to tune into them, because you can actually progressively get better at feeling the vibrational frequencies of a crystal. So let's get into one that everyone already knows about. You've probably got this in your selection also. It's the amethyst. Now this, once upon a time, was very, very, very dark. Matter of fact, I'm going to go downstairs and pick up an amethyst cluster just to show you the color difference. But then it faded, and I'll tell you why in a sec. I feel like the Purple Ranger. Okay, it used to be as dark as this stone right here. I have to get my face out of the picture, where's my focus? But it changed to this. The reason for this is simple. If you leave these stones in the sun, the colors will fade. So if you don't want that to happen, hide them in the dark or anywhere that you can collect if you want to use them. Okay. Now, this stone tends to, well, you hear it out there, open your third eye, right? But the main reason as to why it does that is because it changes the frequency of your energy bodies. And because it changes the frequencies of your energy body, that causes your pineal gland and other spiritual attributes of your biology to become triggered, heightened, activated. Okay? I'll tell you how to do that in a second, but first, let's move on to obsidian. Obsidian pretty much feels like glass, but it's got a nice density to it. You know, it's a bit lighter than glass actually. And obsidian is a dark stone, of course, like tourmaline and other stones like this. And what it does is it basically turns you into a royal asshole. Excuse the French. But yeah, it literally does. And I say that because I want you guys to be cautious about your dark stones. If you hold them, every negative attribute of you will come to the surface. And it doesn't just come to the surface to be observed, it comes to the surface to be acted. In your darkest moments, you've had to act a certain way. That energy is being channeled through you. You then act pretty mean, and then you suppress the energy because you probably just want to be a better person. This will bring it up, and you'll go straight back into behaving like that negative person. All negative attributes will come back up. And then you act on it once you're able to distance yourself from how it's altering your state of mind, and you find ways of changing your perception. All energy in the body comes about because of the mental state of the occupier. If you psychologically choose to be angry, to turn a sad feeling into a fist, then that psychological mental programming, or in other words, that belief that logic behind your actions will continue to create more and more negative energy. When you change the belief, then the energy changes. This is why when people forgive people, it turns to love. It goes from hate to love because they had a perception shift, which causes them to look at that individual in a different light. Okay, there is science to this. And then, of course, you have Selenite, I believe this is called. I think this is called Selenite. It's a soft stone. It's one of my favorite stones. Soft stones used for protection, of course. But how can I tell you something that you haven't heard already on the internet? Well, here's something that's pretty cool. If you squeeze soft stone and you know how to feel energies, it kind of feels like you're squeezing yourself. Like your body, inside the body. That makes sense soon. And then you have your luxite, or in other words known as TV stone. It's a very cool stone. It's one of my favorite stones. And this also comes in handy. So, why do all of these stones work? It's because of this. Your emotions and your energy bodies affect your physical body. Yeah? When people tell you to feel a stone, or what vibration is being carried through your body, what they're really saying is, how is your physical body responding to the energy that has just been changed because it's come into contact with this stone? Only then can you feel a stone, if you're going to look at it from a physical standpoint. Okay? Because most people, when you say, hey, can you feel the stone? They go straight to touch, feeling. They don't sense energy first. They just go to what they can feel already. And sometimes the only things that they can feel within their body are the palms of their hands, the heat on their skin, how they're breathing. They're not focusing in the right areas of the body. And this is why some people who undergo in Qigong practices can already feel, or actually are more heightened in their ability to feel where the energy is coming from as soon as they touch the crystal. So when you touch a crystal, your aura, which does exist, goes through the crystal. And it goes through the crystal and your aura changes frequency. Now your aura colors represent many things. Sometimes they can represent the chakras if they're fully activated, and sometimes they can represent the energy bodies. The cool thing is this means that as soon as your aura goes through any crystal, it's going to change. The information in the aura will change. The frequency will change. Thereby, every one of your chakras will change slightly. Some become more open, some become more closed. Every cell in your body becomes more aware of the frequency change within your being because you have a magnetic to toroidal field that goes through your body, which also comes into contact with the crystal. It changes the magnetic frequency of the field, okay? And this magnetic frequency also permeates throughout every molecule of your body. So it's not just you that's looking at the crystal. Every aspect of you is, all of your energy bodies are. And the only thing that really blocks you from noticing these little slight shifts within your being, well, is a dense body. It's anything that you've eaten that harbors a negative vibrational frequency that doesn't seem to change. It's in your body, it's stuck there, and it's just resonating like crazy. It's like you're eating crystals which are just destructive. There are many things within food which do this. A lot of them, you guys, if you know your stuff, already are familiar with. So I won't go into it for the sake of this video. Only crystals here. Drink more water. You become more conductive. You flush out more of the dense vibrational matter. This will allow you to feel these crystals more often. So how do you actually feel these crystals? Well, this is what you do. And we're going to start off with this one because it's the first one I actually got. What you do is first you put it down. Okay. You sit with yourself and you want to go with your emotions. How do you emotionally feel right now in this present moment? And then you want to focus on how your body is responding to your emotions. What parts of you are tense? Yeah? Feel your emotions inside of your body. And if these feelings had to have been a texture, what would they be? Would they be smooth? Would they be jagged? how would it move? If it had to be likened to water, your emotions inside of your body, how would it be moving? What would be the temperature? You see? These will help you really tune in to just the energy aspect of your emotions within your body, rather than feeling the physical body itself. Which is important because this is the main aspect of your energy bodies, which is going to change the most. So you need to know how to feel it. Okay? Then what I want you to do is, once you've figured out, how it's going to be formed or how it feels, you notice how your body, again, is responding to such a thing. What part of you is relaxed? Part of you is tensed. And the parts of you that are tensed, if those tension points within your body had to be a texture, what would they be? Would they be rough? Would they be stretched out like a rubber band, you see? So now you're just identifying with cause and effect within your body. Then what you have to do is you have to keep your awareness inside the body. And whilst your awareness is inside the body, you slowly go to touch the crystal. So it's kind of like at this point your hand's on autopilot because you're focusing so much internally. And then as soon as you touch that crystal, you'll notice a very slight shift, depending on how open you are. In the feeling within your body, it may have been jagged before, but now all of a sudden it's smooth. And then you feel how your physical body is responding to that feeling. Now you're more relaxed, And then all of a sudden, the glands in the body start to fire. Certain hormones start to shift around and start to change. You become biologically activated based on the stones that you're using. Now, one of the benefits of this, before I close down on this video, is, when you come into contact with somebody who's been really, really angry, or maybe they're being angry towards you, you'd feel their energy go straight through you and you go straight into fight mode, maybe, or flight mode. You get really, really scared and possibly run away. When you're holding a stone like this and their emotional body is about to come into yours, what will happen is because this stone is keeping your emotional body and the rest of your bodies intact, constantly channeled through a fixed frequency, their energy body cannot change or alter your energy body because your energy body is being controlled by a stone. If you drop the stone, however, and then they start yelling at you, what's going to happen is your body's going to pick up on their frequency instead of the stones. And then you'll respond in, the adequate manner, whether that be fighting or just running away. So this is why people use stones for protection. It's not really a matter of the stone casting a really cool shield around their body. It's more so the fact that the stone keeps them at a certain frequency so that other frequencies cannot shift them to another frequency. Okay? So I'm Ryan James Crubber. If you want to get to the point where you're pretty much immune to most frequencies, I'd say get the soft stones, Luxite or TV stone. There are other gemstones that do the same thing. This was actually made for me, and these are soft stones, okay? And the soft stones, like I said, they interfere with your aura, or the information grid, which is permeating throughout your cells and constantly giving your biological body feedback about your environment, the people in it, and the things around you. Otherwise, use quartz, crystal quartz. There's certain colors tend to open up certain energy centers within the body and heighten your life body or life force, chi, that runs throughout your body. Clear quartz just heightens anything, no matter what frequency it is, including your emotions. So if you're pretty angry or flustered, don't go straight for the clear quartz. That's not going to clear your mind. It's going to just boost everything. It's an amplifier. Okay? Use crystals with a kind of wisdom, maturity, okay, with these black stones. If you have a meditation system in place where you can actually sit back from how you could potentially be acting negatively and instead observe the mind and your negative thoughts and then question as to why you're doing it, slip into that meditative process that you've built for yourself or the one that you've learned in order to just stop yourself from being so negative, not forcefully, but to give yourself a reason not to be so negative, then the negative energy will actually disperse from your being. That's how you'll change. That's how you should use black stones. But if you're out there just gathering all these black stones because you think they're going to protect you from negative energy, there are of course other ways of using black stones. I've heard a lot of people saying how the black stones actually protect you from negative energy from other people. From my experience, that's never been the case. I could be missing out on something, or perhaps I've just had the wrong stones. I've only ever tried obsidian, tourmaline, and dragon glass. I think this also goes by dragon glass. Let me just Google it. Dragon glass is a common name in Westeros for the substance known as obsidian, a form of volcanic glass. That is why it feels like glass. Along with Valyrian steel. Okay, now we're getting into science fiction. But it is known as dragon glass. No, I did not just blindly believe in fiction. Art imitates life. Where do you think they get their ideas from? I'm Ryan JC, Ryan James Cropper. This has been your potential on how to use crystals. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this, and I'll speak to you pretty soon. Peace.